And let yourself listen from this place in your heart, giving yourself permission to come more and more fully home to your heart and the core of your body. The core of your body runs from the crown chakra through the third, right down the center, in front of the spine, through the third eye chakra, the fifth chakra, the sixth chakra, down through the core to the fifth, to the fourth, to the third. You can do it. Breathe in, letting that light with every breath going deeper. Take up residence in the third. Many of you haven't lived there. Ask your angels and guides to clear your third chakra, your power center. So it's the solar plexus. Asking them to clear everyone else's cords. Use your hands. So if you visualize pulling out anyone who's taken your power or you've given it to, you visualize pulling out the cord, use your hands, the vision and the action tell your subconscious, we're letting this go. We're not going to be quartered by others. We get to live in our power chakra. So you just keep clearing it until it feels clear. And then ask your guides or your angels to come clear the back as well. And any other chakras that want to be cleared. So Evalena's, the back of her heart has a few little cords from some people who saw her being honored and were emulating her. So that can happen. They're not all bad. It's just who needs them. So any of your chakras you can do this with. You know, you do the care and keeping of your car with the oil change and taking it in to get it tuned up. This is the care and keeping of the chakras. Oh, what's in there? Okay, I can let that go. Boy, did that person try to psych me out. Ooh, take your energy back. I give your energy back. I take mine back. Archangel Michael, please use your blue flaming sword to clear these cords. Set me free. You have a lot of resources for this. So as you clear your chakras, your home, it allows you to move in. Otherwise, it's a little like the home was a boarding home, which was true for a lot of people who were codependents. Sometimes we say, oh, how many other people do you want in your body? And would you be willing to close down the boarding house and restore it to a private home like it's meant to be? So as you clear other people out, you can let your angels do that. Let their wings brush out your energy field. And then breathe yourself even more in and see if each time you let your light spiral down, there's more room for you. And the more that you fill that core, the more it becomes magnetic and the rest of you get drawn to center. So how many of you are there? Just enough to survive everything you've been through. How many of you do there need to be? Depends. If you really work with these practices or similar ones of arriving in your core, and then you invite your younger selves to coalesce in your core, you can allow them to join you. And at first, they're separate, but closer, and then they're closer. Integration is, there's a whole lot of time preparing, and then at one moment, it's like they dive in your core and you're one. And then they go, ooh, I got a lot of body here. Wow. And I can be in the legs and the head and all of it at once, and ooh, nice. They still may be kids, but they'll start age progressing. And what you'll find is some of those parts that you brought back, those selves, those little ones, they're very young when you first find them and bring them to current time into your center. And with love, with attention, some of them age progress. So some of the little ones become children and some of the children become teenagers and Some of the teenagers become young adults, and then you become more one, and one day you may be all one again. And then you'll likely ascend. Work done. You see, you come from oneness. There's only one of you. You come from oneness. You encounter whatever your vision quest is, kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You go on your vision quest, you go do your heroine's journey or hero's journey. You encounter all of that. You get shattered into pieces, some of you. Then you discover, well, what's core? What's real enough that I could nurture these parts? Because first you're angry that they're all separate from you, but then you realize, oh, you were protecting me. Huh? Okay, so how do I get the core self? How do I reconstitute myself enough that I can reach out to these parts of me, can be a container for them, be a nurturing presence enough that they want to become part of me again? It's scary, it's wonderful, it's exalting, it's everything. It's the journey. So, how do I do this? Then you find out more of how many of there are you. There's you, the skin encapsulated ego that stops where your skin does. Third dimension, that's it. Then you have all these subtle bodies because there's also you in your etheric body, which is the perfect double, and it's always in perfection. So when you go into your light body, you're operating from that, the perfection of the etheric body. That's part of how Evalena also gets into the state for this work, is she becomes her light body. So now she's in that perfect template and can open to the light. So there's another of yourselves, and then you have your intuitive self that operates out of the etheric is operating right above the crown, and the intuitive is even more like the astral brain opens to another plane of existence. And then you have yourself on several other planes of existence. The mystery is so multifarious and fascinating. If you're dealing with eternity, why does that which is you ever need to stop? Isn't that an interesting question? If you go far enough and it's nowhere but here, because God is everywhere, but if you allow yourself to ascend up through the vibrations of your being into that oneness with the divine is infinite. So if God is infinite, what if you are infinite? Here you are in your finite self. You're an infinite being that chose sojourns through the incarnational world. You didn't have to. You're not paying for karma. You're not paying off anything. You chose this particular set of circumstances and people around you, all their foibles and shortcomings and loving ways. You chose that because your soul is studying a particular quality, a particular characteristic of the divine. So if you look at what has occurred for you as your curriculum, all right, so I'm on a course of study, this is school, what happened to me is my curriculum. If I stop taking it personally, maybe I can learn the lessons from it and evolve myself, third dimensional self, to include my fourth dimensional self and my fifth dimensional self. Isn't that fun? So feel that. What's it like to feel your core, your grounding, your connection to the heart of all that is, and the heart of your soul, heart of the universe, heart of your heart. And while in that, expand into your light body, your etheric self. Expand into your fourth dimensional consciousness. The etheric body is like the energetic version, and the fourth dimensional consciousness activates the chakras above your crown. And if you wish, invite your guides and angels, your being, to expand you into fifth dimensional consciousness. And then everything is perfect. Even imperfections are perfect. Even when you goof, it's perfect. It's all just part of the plan. So take a breath. Notice how this feels. Notice if your conscious mind or your ego mind gets busy with maybe you're not doing it right. How do you know if you're doing it right? You can say to the ego, take notes. So if it has a job, then it feels important. Take notes. I want to go over them later. Write down your questions. We'll go over them later. That allows you to really be in this experience and experience the glory that is at your center. This radiant heart with a flame of the divine in it. And this core, this Sushumna, they say is the word in Hindu. Buddhist in the English tradition would call it the hollow bamboo. In Tantra, it's thought of as the inner flute, and each chakra is a note on the flute. Healers might call it the column of light or the column at the center. So just feel, whoa. And that is also me. And I can grow in my capacity to feel it, to live in it, to let it serve me, to operate from it. And then you just say to your guides, your being, whoever you turn to for guidance, guide me in this. Show me the way. Help me evolve in understanding the glory of my spiritual nature and my energetic nature. What a joy.